I'm gonna give you a tip. It's something that I believe is sort of a tip on YouTube, and that is go for the shorter duration videos, not the longer drawn out ones. I do long drawn out ones a lot, but I'm not so sure that the longer drawn out ones aren't necessarily for people with a wider following base. Like, so if you have a small amount, you'd probably be better off doing your small segment videos rather than a huge, long, drawn out one that you would do for having a large fan base that's common sitting there watching and listening to what you have to say. So we are trying to stick to the videos that are probably not more than really like 15-20 minute video, but we're trying to really look at if we can do something clever within 5 to 10 minutes, maybe even like 8 minutes or something like that. Those different time, shorter time are our target areas. In my opinion, I think that is a I can say that confidently, a good suggestion. So anyway, so here we go to proving that I can prove to you and I can bring scholars and really smart, intelligent people and have them all debate each other, bring them in and have them debate capitalism, have people who think something else is better than capitalism, then let's see it, let's produce it, and um, let's produce something that's healthy and that's not going to get people killed. If somebody has a problem with your opinion, they're going to kill you, or somebody um, acts too um, big for the britches, somebody who really is in charge is probably going to be more likely to try to kill you somehow. Like Stalin. Stalin killed all of his generals. He killed basically anybody who had a position of power or authority under him. As he ruled as a dictator, he got rid of them all the time. Dictators are paranoid. Look at Saddam Hussein and his regime, talking about the worst of the worst. But they are paranoid individuals. If you are the country's main leader guy or whatever, and you treat everybody like you're able to be humble with them and treat them all like they're your equal, it would take a real corny, evil buster to come in and kill somebody who's a grand master leader of your nation or whatever, king, and he freaking loves you and treats everybody like his own self. He wants everybody to be respected and treated right. He doesn't want anybody to be mistreated. So um, I see trying to do corrupt things, like do things unconstitutional to people, trying to fundamentally transform their government, their country, the way um, that it should be ran. Instead of looking to more of a positive direction and trying to really clean it up and get nasty, vile things out of the government that bring with corruption a corrosion. Because everybody knows that you got to be on the same page with me and at least say, yeah, that's absolutely the truth. So if you had communism and you got rid of corruption, what would that do? I just I don't see that happening because um, they're not uh, they're not going to give up power that you give them. If you give somebody absolute power, or deem somebody some kind of dictator or something like that, they're not gonna give you more rights or give you more ability unless they absolutely have to in order to help maintain their power. That's what a dictator is. That's what communism is. But a president is not supposed to be like that. A president is supposed to be a man of the people, and the communists will take words like that, man of the people, different phrases, and stuff like that. So we wanted to pay a little bit of attention to watching what some people had to say, coming from Russia in particular, living here now. Want to hear um, people like that, the slogans that communists use for propaganda to take over in the first place. You know, you have a president here in America should be just exchanging guard and making sure that the people are safe and that they can live their lives normal, in a free society. And I don't know what people think a free society other than that is supposed to be. The thing that the world needs to have something other than a free society. You know, thinking of free society really kind of um, it's enticing. It sounds a free society. It's like music to my ears. So anyhow, I just wanted to ask why there is no real corruption in particular in the Republican Party, except for them doing deals with corrupt Democrat politicians and other Democrat politicians, like Peter DeFazio from Oregon. Not a corrupt politician, but he follows right along just like a rhino Republican would. And this is the difference between when we call them different Republicans a rhino. They are making a deal with the devil in our opinions, is that they're allowing the Democrats to get away with abusing not just their power, but abusing money, the money system. So the real true raw corruption comes in as they keep squandering our tax money and keep wasting our money the way that they have. So we want to get a hold on things, and we think that it's absolute corruption to the core if they are not focused in on stopping abusing capitalist money, the money system. So instead of repairing the money system so that people can be all out, the whole public in the United States of America, everybody's out of their house every single day. People are out bouncing around, doing stuff, going to a market, going to their job, whatever they're doing, they're happy because they have a bit of wealth that they're sharing enough to where everybody's happy and they're running around, they're buying stuff, they're working, and the things are just clicking, you know. So part of that and what I'm getting to is voting Democrats out completely. Um, I don't want enough of them to have enough Republicans in there where they go and do deals with them after all. I don't want deals to be made. Um, Sometimes I'd be okay with it, but at a time when we had a guy who was supposed to be our president, allowed our whole would have allowed the whole entire country to just stop and sit on its head on end And then whenever you mention sequester, then everybody's looking at the Republicans like, you didn't sign, you didn't give Obama the right to raise the debt ceiling to infinity and beyond, while we're buying shit with all of our money, the stuff from China that's made in China. We're also at the same time, for some reason, we have to borrow gazillions of dollars, trillions of dollars from them to allow them to have the idea that to think that um, we actually owe them money like that. Like we haven't been helping them out farther beyond in space. Like the Democrats haven't gone NASA. Like they haven't got NASA out beyond the stargates. For China to help places out like that. Because they're a third world country. They're so far behind us. It gotta be our fault. It ain't part of an isolated society, society that isolates themselves to the world. Then all of a sudden they're stuck there with no food, no resources, and then people wonder how come they have to get billions more dollars in aid from America from Democrats. Democrats are paying North Korea, China, um, you name it. Any place else, those people come first before all of us ever, ever come first. I seen something that Hillary Clinton did that I thought was absolutely disgusting, and so has Obama. And these guys have perpetrated my country in such a way that they have only revealed themselves to me as a enemy. And some of the things that they have done is just like coming up behind you and stabbing you in the back and twisting the knife. I tell you, Hillary and Obama, um, they've gotten people killed. They've done really stupid, uh, conniving things. But I do not believe that those uh, pukes could ever, in a million years, ever get me in the back and actually physically kill me in the physical. I believe that. I believe they can send trained killers, assassins, people that have been doing it for 50 years, 30 years to try to stab me in the back, sneak up behind me and stab me in the back and twist the knife or kill me. And I do not believe that they could do it. That's my opinion. I truly, thoroughly believe that, honestly, to the core. I'm going to speak of to the core. I believe that one. So, anyways, what Hillary did was Hillary took, knowing that people here in America were suffering because their parent had some exposure to Agent Orange in Vietnam. So, this be the case with me and my sister. My sister was born 2 years after Pops came back, and she suffered a lot with skin cancer. So I had other problems, and I would think a severe case of nerve damage. I think that's what I live with is a nerve damaged uh, thing to it starts from my brain, and then to the rest of my body. My nervous system is shot without even using it, without even having it being under pressure. It's just blown because of Agent Orange and immunization shot stuff like that made me grow up handicapped and disabled, um, autistic my whole life. Or well, I mean, things change and whatever. You have a certain points where you awaken, but you're totally different. I mean, in a lot of cases, hanging out with people, there's a lot of similarities to me and other human beings. but there had been some really crazy, severely different ways that I would perceive things, you know. And I'm not talking about malicious things, I'm just talking about general things. You're a different human being, and you do not, as an autistic person, you do not like being lied to. Um, I don't know that I know a autistic person that maybe has done some bad things, but hasn't come back around for whatever reason. They just don't like dishonesty. So I have a real big problem with dishonest people. So what I had a problem with Hillary over that made it personal with me a while ago, while she was also Secretary of State, she went, excuse me, she went and presented billions of dollars to people in Vietnam. I'm not saying that those people didn't deserve it, but where's their country? How come their country's poor again? Is it because they're isolationist? Oh, they're a third world country in 20 fucking 16. Pardon my language. In 2016, these countries are still behind fucking damn times. Are you serious? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so she pledges our free capitalist money made by people who work for a fucking living, and do their jobs and shit, and rich people alike. I like rich people, so people can stab rich people in the back all they want. I'm not a wealthy guy. I have zip to no money at all. I have nice things, but that's because I try to take care of it. But I'm a person with zip to almost nothing at all, and I'm going to tell you, I like rich people. Rich people help keep my head straight, not on a swivel. On a straight note. Straight. Rich people keep my shit squared and legit. Because I look at that, I look at promise, and I look at prosperity, and I look at things to come and things that can be, and where I can be in a better place, not in a worse place. All else fails. I try not to blame people for stupid stuff. Things that happen to you in life are supposed to make us strong. They're supposed to make us a stronger person, not a weaker person, where we're like, oh my god, this happened. Oh my god, who do I run to? Who do I run to for help? I need help because I cannot solve this dilemma, this life's dilemma. I should have taught my ass a effing lesson so then I'm better off, not worse off than I was. That's why I quit stupid bitching. Serious. But anyhow, so she pledges that money to them while there's been suffering people here. I know because I have a personal experience. My own self can relate with children, Agent Orange, victims of Agent Orange. Totally. And with that woman's pledge there, and what? We're going to be hung to dry. Still over here, I don't necessarily believe that that is true. I believe people are taken care of in America, but we're looking at abuse and squandering of money that should be working, not failing. So it's corrupt. It's corruptness, like with the banks. So now you hear Bernie Sanders taking a play out of my own personal playbook. That's my personal playbook, is to go after Chase, Manhattan Group, uh, all those big banks that made a bunch of corny loans and stuff. They want to make laws for us that never go away. I have a traffic ticket in California that I got in the 90s, and that California's racked it up to now to where I don't even know how much it is. I'm not going to pay the thing, but I'm just saying they want to make laws for us that never go away. Well, I think it's high time to go and put things straight, put things to bed, and set things back on course the way that they're supposed to be. And that is my playbook right there, making people who think everybody thinks they're too big to fail and let them fail. But it's time for them to fail. If it was any of us, we fell left and right in society. There isn't a person out here that hasn't failed, but yet they've got a bank and companies that are so huge that they wouldn't fail if you didn't hadn't gave them the bailouts, got bailouts, and it's been when we haven't been being bailed out. How much does it take for us to be bailed out? Well, instead of sending census or whatever people like that, why don't they have each American go in and talk to the government? You want to pry and know all our personal business anyways, and you know, kill our freedoms. We can't even go and vote without people knowing who we vote for nowadays. But have each American go in and talk to a government agent person. Sit down with them and you discuss, these banks went and discussed with them what it would take to bail them out. Let's figure out, get an estimate on how much it's going to cost to bail every single American in this country out of debt and out of problem. And then we'll start fresh and new with the debt squashed, with our debt squashed. And we'll start fresh and new with the brand new, fresh debt. And we'll go from there as we're borrowing and being in debt and doing different things like that and paying the debts off so that it can be without corruption and not be corroded. And then we don't have to explain anything. We've been voting for these liberals for a while. Gee, how else do you explain that? I think China has a little explaining to do themselves on the fact that we owe them money so much and that we buy so much stuff from China that has a made in China label stamped on everything that everybody owns, basically. Go look at things and see what it says on US. Does it say USA? Made in USA? Okay, here it is. China needs some explaining and some explaining to do on why that's like that also. Because they're doing a deal with the politicians. We're not, you know. We're gullible and dumb enough to vote for Democrats that make these outrageous, draconian, just far out there, all left, all the way. And that's why I got a problem with Republicans doing a deal with these guys right now in particular, because all we've had was wishy-washy, corrupt, corroded politics and government from the Democrat Party. When's the last time you had heard or had something great happen in the name of conservatives? In our name as conservatives, people who feel the conservative urges. When's the last time we've had a law or something constructed or a government function to do, not just one, but bam, 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 three things in a row that are completely conservative, that save America? You want to talk about welfare and everything else? It saves the welfare system. Three conservative things, bam, 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 in Nancy Pelosi's face, right? Saves welfare, saves Social Security, it saves Medicare, it saves Obamacare, it saves the world, it saves us all. We get corruption out of everything. Corruption leads to the destruction and dismantling of everything, and I think it's still some time off while we still have another thing, opportunities like this to be able to discuss different things and put different opinions and various ideas out there so people can um, at least hear them. If it's not going to get um, your mind bubbling with um, ideas and thoughts. But I'm sorry, because that's really what it is. It's not cool or appropriate in my mind, in my opinion, to sit there like this when it comes to your country and politics. People in the country and politics start to do this. Wake up, all right? Because that is so uncool. Um, you want to talk about being cool or whatever, popular? That is, in my opinion, so uncool and so unpopular. To me, in my opinion, is for people to go, oh, my freedom? Oh, you mean, oh, and so people did. Well, I was getting 100%, and I was getting A's in history and government when I went back as an adult high school student at the Woolley Center. And I was impressing my professor teachers there. I was having this with people all around going, wake up, take a whatever, as long as it's legal, maybe caffeine, drink some coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. I don't like taking drugs in particular because I don't like the way things do to your body. So I've become a more health conscious person. I really do shy away from people and drugs if that's what they're doing to their bodies. Um, if you have a reason for smoking marijuana, whatever this and that, I'm not here to debate that with you or demean you or put you down. Actually, you have my support if it's can be proven you have a medical um, reason for taking it. Um, Whatever. I just don't like people abusing drugs and even marijuana um, because I see people that could be seeming to be abusing it, take it a lot or do it a lot, would think it could be proven that up to this point it's more helpful for them than people than just abuse it and just want to do that. Young people need to be out outside doing stuff. If they've already got a young child, it's um, I'm having a hard time with younger people under like 24 or even younger than that, unless the mother and the father are really responsible people, them having children. I just, I don't know what else to say. Just, it just makes my head boggle thinking of people who squander what they have, and they get pregnant as a couple or whatever, and not either one of them are even that intelligent, let alone responsible. So you don't even really have to be that smart. You just have to be responsible, right? And do the right thing. Take care of your own welfare. I really appreciate people who take care of their own personal welfares and not go to the government to get help like that if they do have a child or whatever else. It is there though for people who absolutely do need it and not to be abused and for it not to be abused. So there's a lot of different abuses that go into this thing that um, communists or whoever the hell these people are trying to talk smack about capitalism will try to use these ridiculous things. And at the same time, they're allowing people that have freedom to speak their mind in a democracy like that. Go ahead and talk a bunch of false things that are just not even true. What communist English speaking wannabe think that they're communists or something, sympathizer people actually say and talk crap about capitalism are not straight up true individuals in my opinion at all, because they don't will not ever address the fact that they keep voting for these Democrats that are only about a corrupt system with inside their ideology is to push for a like a cult like um uh villainistic. It's very villain because it portrays like it comes and sneaks up behind you like a villain character would, and they're like the mafia. It reminds me of the mafia. So I don't know. I don't know. All I can tell people on this video right here, if you're following what I'm saying, I'm only a limited amount of people, even if I'm helping one person out, to identify these things and what these people are saying. Just remember that they use ridiculous things that is gibberish. This gibberish that are not facts whenever they talk bad about capitalism. And just keep in mind that if we get rid of corruption and people wanting to stab other people in the back, dirty, rotten scoundrels out of our government in America, that we will see the positive side of capitalism. And another thing too is that those other countries like Russia and China and all them, at a time when we're having politicians from the Democrat Party push this socialism when it only means communism. It's the same exact thing as communism. Socialism is. Um, you have all of those communist countries over there now finally realizing, oh, well, we need to do capitalism. So when they do capitalism, they're going to do it in a way where their people are going to be allowed freedom of speech, and then they're going to, I would hope, try to get a hold on people abusing the system and trying to make themselves richer than other people, because that's a was a the idea of the communists, wasn't it? Was why are these people paid more money than these people over here? Well, you wind up with a dictatorship in communism, and then you wind up with people that die because they run out of resources, and you don't have enough, and the main dictator guy isn't going to let himself be killed or die. I mean, of starvation, crying out loud. So people really have to suffer instead of people being able to really come out as a genuine community that you know, you don't even have to think twice about if somebody's going to harm you or not. You know, you're in a free society where everybody appreciates it. If somebody does something like these grotesque acts that have been going on here, I think that there should be, it's not Sharia law, but there should be a common sense type of action done to these people if they want that much attention or whatever. Take them up, freaking cut them open, and like in medieval times, and rip the people open. I mean, what do you want? What do you want? You don't want to make an example of people who shoot and gun down other people in America that have senselessly gone out and killed innocent people, and that's what the terrorists do. That is what the terrorists do. The terrorists don't give an F, UCK, about who you are, what it is, and they've been attacking. I'm saying that in particular because they've been attacking civilians. The military doesn't attack civilians, crying out loud. Now, if they do, it's to squash a situation or the people are posing them as a threat, but not innocent people partying or having a good time. That is realistically what's been going on over in the Middle East. You have people having different uh, parties after weddings, stuff like that, gatherings. People get together, and next thing you know, they have a suicide bomber come in because they have uh, different um, protections that aren't there, that could have been there, that are all very affordable. So and again, you take guns away, they'll make a bomb. So even if you had a gun, that makes sense. They're gonna come in with a bomb sometimes also because um, sure they like shooting people up like that. That's whatever tactics is a terrorist, whatever tactic they can use to scare people. That's what they think makes them win the day or prove their point or whatever. But so um, a bomb though is not ever out of the question either because they want to kill as many people as they can before they die, and they decide that they're going to die themselves. And I don't know where people think they're going to go after they do that to other people. And they're going to go to heaven. Yeah, you're going to go to heaven if you go and do that. I'm so sure. You're going to go not to heaven. I'm sure that you're not going to heaven. But we see that we're not trying to be self-righteous or anything like that. We think that people should have common sense and that it's an equal thing that we should all share. It's not anything that makes me any better or even worse than anybody else in particular. You know, I have a message that was taught to me or told to me or however I acquired it. So it's for me to share to make people more equally understanding of what I'm saying, where I'm coming from, in my various opinions. So, just short of that, saying these things that do make you sound a little bit like you're trying to be self-righteous, I'm really not. Um, I think that we should all share the same things like that and values in common. So, and get rid of disgusting people or be able to, if we get rid of people like that or whatever happens to them, to be able to start from scratch somewhere at some point where we give people all born, all newborns, the ability to live their life without corruption and without being born into something that's fake and false for them, and it's just confusing to get people back to voting for people because they're allowed to lie to you, and that allows them to believe in a lie and to end up voting for um, people like the Democrats who are corrupt. Like I said, the guy like Peter DeFazio is like your rhino Republican. So there's a reason why, hey, the Democrats are gonna, if he wins, they'll work with him. They'll let him keep his job. You know what I mean? They won't work extremely that hard to get rid of every single rhino if they're able to keep certain rhinos and then keep taking over in the other areas that are important as far as a strategic move to the Democrats because they're looking at this thing as complete power. How do I snatch all this power up from everybody and just control everybody and everything? And they're reckless. So they'll take all of that power and they'll just wreck us right into a wall, right into a brick wall with it. That's more than my opinion. It's a fact. Go look at anywhere like Detroit. Look at Detroit. People there been voting for Democrats for 60, 70 years. There hasn't been a Republican to do anything there in Detroit for that long. And Now they're finally realizing that they have to get rid of corruption their own selves, and they think that they can do it by voting through the Democrat Party. It's really ridiculous. So yeah, I think it's important if we can to maybe elevate one of those other third parties up. But I prefer and like the sound of a conservative party. Say have people that are Republican go from the Republican Party to the Conservative Party. From that and leave the rhinos there. And if they come in there and they try to act like a rhino, kick them out of the party because it makes hardly little to no sense at all for me to see somebody do things I don't like and then try to kick them out of the Republican Party. You know, makes no difference to any of them rhinos that I've been a registered Republican and been voting and actually been helping them in campaigns too. So I've been a volunteer for years. For years, I've been a loyal, devout follower, and up to this point, now I'm saying that I want a whole new party, conservative party, and you know, and just abandon the Republican Party because it's not. It's losing its values. You have to be able to think smart. Like I said, don't fall asleep on politics, and you have to use your mind and your brain thoroughly and depthly as you can to figure out how to appease to people without losing those important values that we hold as systematic. It's a very systematic thing to us, you know. You can't have any immoral traits in this thing function properly. It's just not going to happen, you know. I mean, in anything, like say it's in the fire department, not in the police department, not anything else. I'm just hypothetically saying because I have to give a point if I can. But we're gonna say it's okay. It's just in the fire department, you know. So even that little bit of unhealthy um, manners going on being practiced in there, you know, you're gonna make some kind of excuse for it, and it's not gonna spread to other places, and there's not a evil reason for that happening. Up to this point, there should be really no reason for people to have to hide anything of what they're doing, and especially in their jobs. If it's a professional job, people shouldn't have to hide, you know, anything. They should be completely transparent all the way through and show that, not talk about it, but actually show it whenever they're when they're doing their job and not hide nothing. So up to this point, if they're hiding anything, they're doing things. I see them actually also openly, right in your face, doing things that are corrupt, like feminists. Feminists want consensual. They want to be able to um, press charges of rape against men for consensual sex. Maybe that's why. Maybe South Park caught on to that. Maybe that's why South Park had that PC principal guy go have everybody sign uh, a waiver or whatever, have their woman that they're with that night sign for them. You know, otherwise they could get into trouble later because the chick could wind up saying, "Oh, he didn't ask me where it was rape or something like that." So there's a big difference between rape and somebody accusing somebody of rape and it being completely false. So to where that's abuse for people, real victims that have actually been assaulted. So that's my opinion. What I think feminists, when they talk about rape, listen to them carefully about how they say it and what they're talking about. It sounds like a consensual um, deal to me, and they want to blow it out of proportion and act like it was rape. So It's corruption. Get rid of the corruption, and capitalism will be more than fine. It'll be healthy and the most positive thing the world could see, and the world will follow capitalism. I guarantee it. Don't lose your values and your capitalistic ways, and clean it up and get rid of Democrats. All of them. They're bad. They're bad people. I do not believe that any Democrats really, like the one like Obama, um, really had any good intentions ever, and he lost his way just because he became a politician. I do not believe that. I think that dude was a dick from day one, hates America, has a progressive, whatever you want to call it, terroristic notions against America, and appeases to the enemy and will appeal to the enemy as long as he's there, and not actually our own health as a country and our strategies that we should ought to do that's positive to help us be a better country ourselves. You know, why do we have to be a shit bird of a country? Or because Obama says so? Because Obama or Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders or anybody else wants to say that America is a bunch of shitbirds and they just have to be a shitbird. There ain't no help for America. They're just a bunch of shitbirds down over there. So they're gonna be shitbirds. Something. I don't know. Go figure it out. But it has to do with corruption and power, greed.